what that is all about and the status of that?
I'd be happy to. I appreciate you asking, because I know that I've been attacked on that multiple times. In 2004, I started a biotech company in Charleston. It became very successful. I was very blessed. And we sold umbilical cord blood stem cells to researchers all over the world. Do y'all know what umbilical cord blood stem cells are? We're not talking about the controversial embryonic stem cells. In fact, the point of the company was to challenge the more ethical embryonic stem cells. Okay, so we wanted to sell these to researchers around the world to prove their efficacy, that they could work. And we did that, and we were very successful with it. We were very blessed with it. When I went to sell my company in 2007, I had a researcher that was working for me that actually stored $300,000 of my inventory in his own personal freezer without my knowledge and sold them to the company at which I was selling my company to put money in his pocket. Now, you know what the problem with that is? The federal government, because you have to have a biological license to sell those cells. You know who's in charge? Who's responsible for that employee of mine that stole my inventory and sold it to somebody? You're looking at the guy. The buck stops with me because I was the CEO of the company. Federal government came to me and said, the FDA, to be more correct, administrative charge said, we're going to charge you a $1,000 fine. It's a misdemeanor. Yeah, it's a federal charge, and that sounds like I murdered somebody, but I didn't. Okay? The truth is, it was an administrative charge. It's a $1,000 fine, and it was a misdemeanor because an employee stole some of my inventory. Now, I know this has been spun out of control. I know this has become a negative campaign, attack ad, sort of a free-for-all. But this sort of trash is getting out of control. And by the way, they never went forward with the charges. Okay, so fast forward to when I run for the Senate, and all of a sudden everybody's interested in what happened a decade ago. It's not true. Don't believe it. I'm not a double felon. I've never gone to jail. I've never been charged with a crime to my knowledge. So there you go.
My question is, it says status open and some other authoritative statement. So my question to you is, where does it stand today?
I asked them 10 years ago, or whenever the first time they brought it up, and I asked them 2 years ago when I ran for office, the first time, and all of a sudden the Democrats dredged it up, and they said, we don't really think we want to go forward with it. So I told everybody 2 years ago, I told everybody 4 years ago, whenever this first came up, I said, if they came to me, I'd plead guilty and pay my $1,000 fine, and we'd go on with life. What's the big deal? What are we even talking about? I was stolen from, and it's my fault because this is the federal government in their infinite wisdom. You ever heard of Sarbanes-Oxley? Same thing. You sign onto a document. You're ultimately responsible for who signs onto that document. Same thing. I'm responsible for my employees' bad actions, bad deeds, and I take responsibility for it. Although it's crazy, it's asinine, it's the federal government bureaucracy, I'll pay the $1,000 fine and plead guilty to it tomorrow if they tell me, let's go. Sounds good to me.
Let me say something. I've been on the campaign trail with this man for 2 months, and that's the best explanation. And I'm glad you had the opportunity to do it, Stephen.
Thank you.